Welcome back to another episode of Couch Co-op. I'm loving how consistent these episodes are getting.
Yes.
Today, we are talking about Nintendo Direct for June 2024.
Sir.
We just finished talking about Xbox the other day, so I know someone is super excited to talk about Nintendo stuff. So I'm going to let him take it over. Go ahead, Cruz.
You got it. So, it's been a Direct. Everybody was so keep in mind, a lot of the fans went into this Direct with, little to no expectations. Mm-hmm. So, let's start with the first one. They dropped the bomb and start off the Direct with a new Mario and Luigi. It's called Brothership. Mm-hmm. It's nuts because, look, Alpha Dream, the original creators of the Mario and Luigi spin-off RPG series, they went bankrupt and nobody knew what happened to them ever since then.
Right.
The last new game was 9 years ago.
Damn.
So, again, honestly, at most, if anybody was expecting anything, it was another remake of Superstar Saga. But no, Alpha, as far as you know, the devs at Alpha Dream got absorbed into Nintendo, mm-hmm. and now here they are. They're coming back with a brand new game, and it's crazy because Super Mario RPG came out last year. Right. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake came out this year, and we were expecting if the third one, Mario and Luigi, came out, was going to be a remake of Superstar Saga. They said, no, we're doing our own thing, and it's going to be a brand new one. And the internet fucking went wild because, keep in mind, dudes in the 90s, they had Mario RPG.
Right.
The 2000s kid had Paper Mario. And here, we're seeing that last generation of Mario RPG fans getting their game, and not just getting their game, a brand new one. So,
heck yeah.
Shit went wild. Solid thing. Then they came in with a couple of, I know a lot of people weren't as big. They were just talking about the big things. So, next thing they showed up with mm-hmm. was Fairy Tail 2.
Yeah, that was a huge shock because I didn't think the first one did that great.
Dude, nobody did. Because it came out early on in the Switch's life, and mm-hmm. it was one of the last PlayStation 4 games, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I guess it bombed. It sucks because I heard a lot of people saying it had good potential in it.
For real. And
then here it comes, and I guess the trailer, they're saying, oh, it's going to take place during the last arc of the series.
Yeah. So
I don't know how much you know about your Fairy Tail knowledge with that.
All of it. It's basically doing the last season of the Alvarez arc. Yeah, okay. I got it right here. I was surprised. I bought a copy because I was interested. I love Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail's awesome, but I didn't think the game was good enough to get a sequel.
But nope, here you are, and it's coming out this year.
Yeah, shout out to Koei Tecmo. Shoot. Yeah, Fairy Tail has been definitely having a huge rise right now. 100-Year Quest is getting a new anime, of course. The manga's still going. If I'm not mistaken, it's reached its 100th chapter, and it's popping right now. So, to all the Fairy Tail haters out there, yeah, you can suck it because we're killing it right now.
At least you guys are getting actual merch and games and anime stuff. Bleach mm-hmm. made a comeback, but right now it's just the. And I'm not dissing the Bleach anime right now. I'm just saying Fairy Tail's getting more merch than Bleach was with its resurgence. So it's crazy when you put it in that perspective. It's whoa.
Oh heck yeah! It's just funny how big it's getting right now, and we're even getting supposedly another manga series for the series. But we'll talk about that when we get to the anime stuff. But yeah, it's shocking to see that. I was super surprised, and it's gonna be on everything. It's not just a Switch exclusive, luckily, and.
No, yeah, that's fine. I still saw you got super hyped when you saw it. That's all I care about. As long as the show entertained you, I don't care what it is on. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I want the platinums. That's why.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just surprising. I was shocked. That was probably the biggest okay, cool. I'm not mad at it. It's just I didn't expect it. It's just so left field.
It was just imagine if you were getting to work in just some random homie just hey man, here's a bag of chips. You're
yeah,
cool, thanks.
It's wow, all right, bet I'm with this. Yeah.
Next one after that was Neo Fantasia Neo Dimension. It was a game that's locked on Apple Arcade, mm-hmm. and now it's coming to Switch, and people are excited about it because it was made by the original dude who did Final Fantasy, the original creator of that.
Yeah.
And you saw the gameplay. You liked how the curve and how you attack enemies like that. Mm-hmm. I like it because it looks like a PS1 RPG. The whole top down and the whole pre-rendered areas. What I learned from this game though is they didn't make pre-rendered areas just draw them in that. No, they made little dioramas and then just put the characters to walk in them. So that's why they look more 3D than just a pre-rendered thing. It's oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah. After that, Nerd. Switch Sports got an update for they were adding basketball later, and it's cool.
It was funny because when that came out, I got so many looks. I'm just why are you guys staring at me so much about this?
Oh, the best.
Yeah, because we'll play with our family, we'll drink, and we'll play the Wii Sports stuff, and we'll just It'll be crazy.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Nintendo Switch Sports is one of probably the most surprising golden games on the console. It's crazy.
The next one was the first indie game of this was a Mio Memories in Orbit. It was an interesting like 2D platformer. It looks a lot. It gave me vibes of like Journey. Remember Journey on PlayStation?
Yeah.
It gave me that vibes with how it's handled its art style and stuff.
Okay.
All we know is that it's 2025, but first indie game was that. The next few were like, I know I didn't show you these because I don't even care. One was an update for a Disney game that's on Switch. I've been playing it. It's actually pretty fun. It's a very good entry level Metroidvania. Second one was another. This is gonna sound crazy. I saved it so I could talk to you about it here. Next one was Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Two things. One, the name is straight up taken from a South Park joke. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, wow.
That World of Warcraft episode where Butter's like, I'm not playing Warcraft, I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. That's that.
Wow.
This game didn't exist before this.
That's crazy.
But interesting. This game was also an Apple Arcade exclusive, and now it's coming to Switch. Mm-hmm. And there was this thing, okay, so are all these Apple Arcade games coming in? Because Apple Arcade actually had a lot of hidden gems on it, but they were locked because of the Apple contracts. The one everybody's waiting for is, okay, can we get Sonic Dream Team next? That's where Sega's Hardlight, their mobile division, made a 3D Sonic game. And I was like, okay, hopefully that comes next because that one plays like Tony Hawk meets Sonic.
Right.
So we're hoping for that one next.
That's a combo.
Next one was Formagia, the game that's like a Marvelous and Fairy Tale creator doing a duel. Mm-hmm. I know it's not up your alley, but I do like. I know you like the art style because duh, and I do like the concept of how you get to like have like 30 wolves just like. I was about to say wrong thing. Like, jump. I'll say that.
Yeah.
30 wolves just jump a dude. Right. Or a monster, I should say.
That's funny.
Next one was Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
Okay.
People are hyped because that game has not been ported to a home console almost 10 years.
Right.
Next, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake.
Okay.
Bonus with that. First off, Dragon Quest looks really fucking good, and they have released the first 3 like their NES ports on like everything so far, and now we're getting the remakes. I'm like, okay, this is dope. I'm happy for this because it's been a while. I've never played the original trilogy, and speaking of, I've just teased it, but basically after they showed the gameplay like release date for Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, 1 and 2 are getting the HD 2D treatment as well, and they're releasing next year.
Right. Okay.
Going forward. Luigi's Mansion 2 had like one final trailer. Here's another thing that's happening. I noticed Metal Slug Attack Reloaded came to everything or Shadow Drop today, or not today, but that day of the fucking direct, and it was a mobile game that is now on everything. And I think more and more mobile games are just dropping on consoles. Mm-hmm. But interesting, you're paying $10, but after that, you don't pay for any more microtransactions after that. I'm like, if that is a way to preserve some of these mobile games that actually are hidden gems, I'm not against that. Capcom did it with Rockman X Dive, and now here SNK is doing it with Metal Slug Attack. I'm wondering if all these other mobile games that got delisted can come back. You just pay like a flat 10, maybe $15, and you get access to the whole game without worry about like doing the gacha thing. The gacha.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
That would be fine. Anyways, next game, Darkest Dungeon 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
People like Darkest Dungeon 1. Next, the subscription service got Shadow Drop that day with Link to the Past GBA with 4 swords. That was my favorite version of Link to the Past.
Right.
Metroid Zero Mission, one of my favorite Metroid games out there. It then came in with 2 N64 FPSs with Perfect Dark Original and Turok Original. Pretty crazy. So they're giving more and more games, and a lot of games that people didn't think they were going to get.
Right.
A new Phantom Brave game, which is done by NIS Software, which I learned is adjacent to the Disgaea games, where they take place in the same universe but different area.
Yeah, that looks like a Disgaea game, to be honest with you. Straight, as soon as you see it, it's like, oh, it's Disgaea.
The next one, this one broke the internet just straight up. Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. What the fuck? You're probably thinking like, why was everybody just genuinely hyped about this? If you've been following Maximilian, you'll know that he's been petitioning to with the hashtag free MVC2 for almost like 7 years. Mm-hmm. Because MVCI, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, was kind of a flop.
Yeah.
Financially, it lost to Dragon Ball FighterZ and just a whole bunch of other things, the reason for why this game flopped. And since then, we thought, well, because of the Disney thing, we didn't think we would ever get this game come out. Fucking out of nowhere, Nintendo's the one that breaks the news like Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. So it's not just MVC2. You get from Children of the Atom to MVC2 and a bonus Punisher beat 'em up, all with online connections. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Warning everybody now, you better buy this shit physically, digitally, as many times as you can, because you don't never know when Disney's just gonna Thanos snap it out of existence again.
Right. And just be like, yeah, we're just gonna take it out the eShop for
Literally
no reason.
Next one was the newest Mario Party. People lost their shit here because now the first two Mario Party games that came out on Switch, like quote unquote original ones, first one played it way too safe, but it was a step in the right direction again.
Right.
Second one was a remake of like older maps, which is good, and it was more competitive, like the whole fuck you, I'm winning, no fuck you, I'm winning Mario Party. Now this one feels like, okay, we're gonna get wacky again, and since this is probably the last Mario Party for the original Switch, good. And they're ending it with a interesting 20-player online versus mode.
Damn.
I don't know how many people are gonna get pissed off at that.
Right. I can see that though. I mean, shoot, Fall Guys doing so well is clearly a sign people like these party games.
Exactly. Next one, we got The Legend of Link.
Ah, yes, the game, the mistitle that should have been what it was called. That would have made total sense.
Dude, I love the art style because it's using the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake art style. I love like the little diorama toys things. And here we go. Zelda's getting her own game finally. Nobody is going to count the CDI games that were ass. Just stop, please. I don't know why people keep bringing those up in defense like they're actually good games. Like, no, bro, you're just you're just trying to troll here. Like,
they're just hard to look at, is what they were.
Those were good for YouTube poops, and that's about it.
I was like, someone thought this was gonna be awesome. It was gonna be it. It's crazy.
But I do love how much this game is borrowing from Breath of the Wild in the sense like you can explore the dungeons in any way you want and solve the puzzles any way you want. And I even like the combat to where you just beat the fuck out of enemies with whatever you see, or even summon monsters to fight for you. We're skipping the next one. This is Just Dance.
Oh, they keep making those, man.
I don't know. Retirement homes love it, I guess. I don't know, man. That's the only place I can think of where like those things actually sell well.
They just killing it with those, man.
Crazy one. This, again, just it's hard to imagine is Lego Horizon Adventures.
Bruh, who approved this?
Gorilla. That's all I know. It's Gorilla.
Doesn't it Sony own them?
Yeah, that's Gorilla is a first-party Sony studio. Keep in mind, this is also coming to PlayStation. No duh. It's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Switch day one.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
But still, it's like you have your first-party IP, regardless if it's a spin-off or something else, on your competitor.
Yeah, that was super strange. Okay, because usually when you're watching the Nintendo Direct, they're not gonna show you PS5, Xbox, and all that. It's just gonna be Nintendo. So the first thought you think when you see that is just like, that's such a move. Like, how did you even acquire any Horizon franchise on Switch? I mean, it's Lego, but it's like
it's still Horizon. It's one of the PlayStation's best selling games. Like, whether you like the game series or not,
right?
That made money, and here's Sony putting it on the Switch.
Like nothing. And it's funny because it's like,
because you could argue like with their MLB The Show games, you can argue that MLB forced them to, which is proven. MLB came out saying, hey, we'll give you the license to make these baseball games for us, but you have to put it on everything. That's why MLB came to Xbox and Switch.
Yeah.
This one, no, this was a conscious decision by Gorilla, the guys who made Horizon, saying we want this on Switch and PC day one.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
It's crazy. They're starting to see Sony's kind of screwing up with the exclusivity stuff. I mean, when you're losing places like Atlas, like to
Square,
and like you're really home Japanese studios to like other competitors, it's crazy. I mean, Nintendo and PlayStation have hated each other for years, and to do this is just either showing how desperate PlayStation is getting right now, or how distracted they are to even let this slip through. Because that's crazy. I feel like a Sony 10 years ago wouldn't let this happen.
No, absolutely not. This would never happen. But now, if software's not selling on your home system, and you gotta get help from, like, you can argue PC won't count. A lot of people like to argue PCs don't count.
I feel like that's true.
But how do you argue this? How do you argue when their competitor is now getting a first party game? Like, you're spin-off or not, dude.
It is very strange.
If this sells well and we get Lego God of War on Switch, like, it's over, dude.
I would flip out if we saw Lego God of War on Switch and it became an exclusive. That would just be like me, just like, okay, that's the confirmation that Sony's just either giving up or they don't know where else to go with it, or any move they make is just going to be met with backlash. it would just be that'd be pretty bad because being a Sony fan is hard right now, and we are going through it. It's hard right now. So to see this is just like it's cool, no doubt, but it's just like it's a little bit concerning.
You guys are starting to turn into that sweat meme, like the like dude like who's like just sweating like drenched in it, like what's going on?
Yeah, that'd be wild. I mean, I think I'm gonna keep my faith in with Sony at their next event. I'm gonna pray TGS Game Show, Tokyo Game Show is gonna be the one where they just bring out all the stops. I think that's when it's gonna really happen. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna put it down here now. And when the TGS happens, I'm gonna come back to this clip and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna repost it, talking about how right I was. They're gonna cook at TGS. If they don't, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do in their repertoire anymore, because Persona 6 has to be somewhat close to a reveal of some kind. We got a Tales games in the work, and I don't know.
Who knows, man? They can't. I don't know. They said they're taking a year off, and well, they're kind of showing it now with this.
Yeah, for real. No one must be in the office right now. Is all I gotta say. But so, yeah, back to the Nintendo stuff because
next we got a quick rapid fire of Strays getting a Switch port. If you don't have, you've not played this game, it's a cute indie cat game. It won a couple awards here and there. Check it out.
Yeah, people have been loving Stray for a while.
Tales of the Shire is a weird one. Imagine taking Stardew Valley and just putting the Lord of the Rings license on it. Crazy thing about it, both this and that Hello Kitty game I brought up earlier, a lot of streamers saying, no, these low-key are really good. Like, I'm like, if you're into like some cozy games from time to time, apparently, according to some streamers, these two were low-key really good. I'm like, yeah. And like, not even from like some small streamers, some big time was like, all right, I didn't expect to hear you guys say that.
Right.
Next one is the final two, not of the event, but the Ace Attorney games are completely now on modern platforms. We have the original trilogy, the Apollo Justice trilogy, the Great Ace Attorney, which take place in like the past, and now the Mile Edgeworth duology is here. Every old Ace Attorney game has been ported. There's no more. And going forward, now, well, there's one left, but I don't know how they can get it. It's the Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton crossover.
Oh, but the 3DS?
Yeah. But besides that, that's it. So going forward, I think the Ace Attorney fans are like, all right, you've ported every single game that's ever existed. There's got to be a new one coming out, right? And they might, because these keep selling.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is an easy way to test the waters on how much people really care. And I mean, I think Nintendo's going to have to do a lot of that, porting over their catalog, because eventually the 3DS will become sort of obsolete. I mean, I don't know what the state of the store is right now. I think it's still pretty...
Stores, the 3DS store is like, it's been shut down for a month.
Oh, shit. It's already happened.
Yeah, so now, at this point, but it's good. That means now...
Yeah. So
anything that was on there is they're tapped, like at least for certain franchises, they're tapped out, and now Capcom has to force their hand and basically make a new one.
Yeah. You know, I remember this because we were talking about it. You kept telling me, you better go buy Q, Now Q's like $60.
Oh, it's going to go up in price even more now.
Oh, yeah, nah, I'm good. I think...
Q1 and Q2 are going to go up in price, dude.
I'm sitting on one of them right now, at least. I just don't know where I put it. It's probably somewhere over there. But, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Next up, we had 100 Line Last Defense Academy, a game... The art style done of the Danganronpa, but it looks like, from what I could tell, it looks like a strategy game like Fire Emblem or even Persona Tactica.
Yeah.
So the games always look good art style wise. It's just
it still looks like it has some of that Danganronpa aspects though.
You mean killing kids,
basically, and the way you traverse the game. Why'd you bring that up?
Dude, tell me one game where the guys just don't hate kids, like.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm not. That's just funny to me. It's like all these games with the one of the most things that tie them together. Like, so what do? Oh, you try to make sure these kids don't die.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. I think I'm not talking about like Corpse Party or anything because those games are wild.
True.
And they're so graphic. It's weird. It's just. It makes it look so much worse. It's just funny how much anime characters make things look worse when it comes to just things being brutal.
Like, bro, what did some kids like shit in your lawn? Like, what do you got against kids right now?
And it's always like the most innocent like person too. It's never like someone who like
deserves it.
But yeah, I mean the Switch stuff has been pretty good.
And then last two. One is a Romancing Saga 2 remake. The Saga fans are just eating. Like, they've been getting remake or new game left and right. And I know nothing about this franchise. And because of how many games comes, like, you know what? I need to just try one. I want to see what the hype of it is. Because as far as I know, the difference between Saga and something like Final Fantasy is Saga takes like the best way to compare it. Imagine RuneScape, where everything, little thing you do, your stat goes up. Like, oh, you're good with swords, that goes up. You're good with axes, that goes up. That's how Romancing Saga takes its leveling up features. Like, you got to use something a certain amount of times before it levels up. That's, to my knowledge, how they originally worked. Whether they do the same way still, don't know. But yeah, no, the Saga fans are eating, and I'm glad for them. They've been getting new games and remakes left and right. That's dope. And now the finale, the showstopper that ended all the game 7 years in the making. Oh yeah, Prime 4.
Yeah, Metroid. You guys have been waiting for that for a minute. I thought Dread was gonna be that one, but then you brought to my attention that wasn't it. It was supposed to be first person. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it looked cool. I mean, they look like it cooked. I mean, I know it had a big redevelopment, like recycle.
Yeah. Like so 2 years from when they announced it. Nintendo came out the video saying we're scrapping it and starting over, and it's going back to Retro Studios. And everyone's like, wait, how bad was that original build that they had to scrap the whole thing and start over? Yeah. And who was it? Turns out later down the line, we pretty much got like 90% confirmation Bandai Namco was making it.
Oh, come on, Bandai.
And Nintendo didn't like what they're doing, so they gave it back to the original devs at Retro. Yeah. And you saw.
Yeah. It's funny because Bandai Namco is like one of the most consistent / inconsistent like game companies ever. I mean, while they make really great decisions when it comes to publishing and stuff like that. I mean, I think they published The Witcher, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. They just, certain games that they do just don't work. It's weird. Like, their Tales, their OG studios, they kill it. But some other games, sometimes it's just like, it just doesn't work.
It's so weird.
It's bizarre. Like that Godzilla game that they did years ago. Like, why? Like, why was it look like this? And it's just like they should be one of the few studios I feel like that should be doing anime games perfectly great. Like,
and yet with like right now their last hope for, like, I know we're going off topic, but their last hope for like making 3D arena fighters look good again is Tenkaichi or Sparking Zero. Yeah, Sparking Zero is their last chance to show everybody that no, we can still get 3D arena fighters because that last Naruto one was very mixed. The Demon Slayer one, well, that Demon Slayer was actually done by Sega. What am I saying? That one was done by Sega, so they did that one got positive. But their One Punch Man one that nobody remembers. Yeah. The Jujutsu Kaisen one, people fucking were pissed.
The only people who really like that game are people who like Jujutsu Kaisen like crazy, and it sucks because that game could have been cooler. Like, it's funny because like you would think with things like, you know, Fighter Z and Sparking Zero, you would get some inspiration for that. Like, even when Koei Tecmo's beating you in anime games, it's like crazy because it just makes sense. And it's funny because they don't even graphically they don't even try. And that's like half the unfortunately that's half of Namco's problem when it comes to certain games. Tale wise, they kill it. They know what they're doing with that. That's because they have a whole studio dedicated to just making those great games. But everything else is like just
like, honestly, if you look at it, only Dragon Ball's been getting like the good shit because you had Fighters. Mm-hmm. You had Xenoverse 2. Say what you will about it, it's still for what it was. It's still good because it's more of an MMO. It's MMO-esque. Mm-hmm. So, and it's still getting DLC to this year. So
yeah, which is freaking bizarre to me.
You got Xenoverse 2. You got Fighters. You got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, an action and adventure RPG by CyberConnect 2 of all people. Yeah. And now you got Sparking Zero, which is showing like, yo, this is how cool fucking arena fighters can be again. It's like, bro, you got, and hell, even to an extent, One Piece got good treatment. You got the Pirate Warrior series, and you even got the turn-based RPG Odyssey, I believe it was called. Yeah,
but it's just funny how hit or miss they can be, and I feel like if they had the right title, the right budget, and the right like direction, they could do great.
Even I know it's not them specifically. But hell, even Hunter x Hunter is getting a fucking 3v3 fighter done by aiding the guys who DNF Duel and fucking Marvel 3. Mm-hmm. So the fact
sounds cool.
Yeah, so come on, like, what are you doing here? Like, expand your horizons. Like, look at the anime you're looking at, and find a studio like, hey, like Pirate Warriors makes a whole lot of sense because you watch One Piece fights, it's always Luffy and the Straw Hats fighting a fuck ton of Marines or bad guys. So that makes sense doing a warrior style. Turning Fairy Tail into an action RPG. Makes sense. Right. Even from what I understand, I don't know how it's hit or miss, but their sword art games are very...
That's another thing that So I like Sword Art Online the anime. I mess with it, even with the little weird harem aspects when they kind of ruined first season. But they keep making these Sword Art Online games. I played Hollow Fragment when it was new. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in that game. Nothing made sense to me. I don't know if it was just a bad port, the localization, thing was just messed up or something, or something was wrong. I didn't know what I was doing in that game, but they keep making it. I played Lost Song. That game was horrible. I didn't like that at all. That was boring. And then they keep making them. Like Fatal Bullet is like the newest one, I think.
No, there was like one more that just came out recently.
Whatever the World of the Underworld.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, yeah.
But it's just, who's playing these games, man? Because I don't hear anybody talking about them. I don't hear anybody, getting gushing about them. And it's like,
I don't know.
Keep making them.
Like, to me, I think, like, with this whole retro revival of, like, beat 'em ups, like I said earlier at the other episode, how Power Rangers is getting a 2D beat 'em up, and some other presentation I saw, like Toxic Crusaders getting a beat 'em up, G.I. Joe getting a beat 'em up, like, fuck it. Give the devs who made River City Girls, I know you've played that or at least seen that.
Yeah.
Let them make a Yu Yu Hakusho game.
That'd be sick.
You get to play, Hiei, Kuwabara, Kurama, and fucking Yusuke.
Yeah.
Then if you beat the game, you get to unlock secret characters like fucking Quenma, Botan, fuck it, Keiko, even just something. Have fun.
Just give us the Game Boy Advance game they had.
That too.
Little strategy game.
Hell, you know how many people I see in comments. It's like, man, I miss these Game Boy or even like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, old ass like games from these animes. Like a lot of people saying like they miss Clash of Ninja. Some people say they miss Ultimate Ninja, or
because those were decent fighters back then for the base.
For what they were.
For what they were, they were pretty decent. I won't say they were anything complex, but they were good enough to have some fun with.
So many people are just saying they miss when the games were just fun.
Yeah. Or shit, just bring us Storm level quality games. Like, Naruto Ninja Storm was fucking the shit. Like, it was awesome. The combat was complicated, but not too bad as far as gameplay mechanics go, and the visuals were just
hell. A lot of people are saying so many people are saying like Jump Force was a step in the wrong direction. They said, look, what you guys should have done, just make a home console version of Jump Ultimate Stars on DS. And that was just a Smash clone, but people fucking love Jump Ultimate Stars. And I love Jump Ultimate Stars.
The fact that there's no anime Smash clone now is crazy. Because, I mean...
Multiverses, Brawlhalla, Rivals of Aether. Like, come on. You have the right properties to do this.
The formula's there. And I know it's partially why it's because it's a licensing issue. Because it's, like, so all over the place. But, like, if someone really wanted to, they could just pick one big franchise to do it. Like,
absolutely.
Senran Kagura, is as provocative as those games were. There's a lot of characters in them. The Fate series, there's tons of characters in those. Those would hit, but I don't know. It's weird.
But yeah, going overall, like back to like the tangent aside, the direct. Honestly, people say it was just as good as the Xbox one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe not like, but think about it, like it's like looking in a separate direction, like where the Xbox had the really like the hardcore, realistic pushing graphics kind of games. Nintendo had the really fun games. I'm not saying those games can't be fun or these ones can't be like visually appealing to people, but the fact that both these companies came out strong with like, hey, Nintendo Switch, we're not done with you guys. Here's all these cool games coming out. Xbox people, hey, this is what we've been cooking this past like few years. Meanwhile, Sony's just like a party popper, like. Here's Astrobot.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely slacking. I feel like we shit on Sony all the time. I mean, we're going to until they, just wow me.
Yes, absolutely. Like, when they come out with good shit, we will be singing their praises like, yeah, this is the fucking Sony we wanted.
Yeah, this is the problem that I was afraid of back when they were starting to run dry a little bit when PS5 started coming out. And it was just, I knew this was going to happen. We're going to have this really big time where we're going to be really quiet. It was just not going to happen. Nothing interesting was going to happen. A lot of ports were just going to be, a lot of games that were going to be shown off were just multi-platform games and nothing really interesting or things we didn't already know about. And we're going to have a lackluster, show. And now we kind of have nothing right now. And that's why I'm saying TGS needs to really hone in on what's going on, because it just...
And none of these have to be exclusive. Like we said in the Xbox one and this one, as long as you bring in hype, we will be talking about you positively.
Right. Because the aspect of exclusivity has changed so much now, so...
Like Doom, as hype as that was, that's coming to everything. Cool.
Everything.
You're gonna play that on whatever you want to play it. Dragon Quest 3 remake, that's gonna be on everything. Cool. That was hype. Marvel vs. Capcom, hype.
Right.
You know, like we don't Call of Duty, like these are hype. What we want you is entertain us and show us that you care. But when you come with a show that's so lackluster that we can't muster up any enthusiasm, like that's on you.
It's funny too, because like when you think about like Nintendo and Xbox and PlayStation and Sony, it's funny because like the way we view exclusivity has really changed over the last few years.
Absolutely.
But when you really think about it, like Nintendo has games that'll never come to other platforms. Of course, they'll do multi-platform stuff with no issue, but they still kind of have their own bread and butter. Xbox basically built their own bread and butter with Game Pass. I mean, Call of Duty is multi-platform, but you're way more excited to play it on
Game Pass.
Xbox, Xbox's Game Pass than you are anywhere else because it's cheaper, it's more affordable, and it's damn near it's a third of the price or like a fifth.
There'll be likely a chance too where they'll go back to the old days where Xbox will be getting the DLC first.
Yeah, and if they do time exclusives, though, you're done. You're done. I mean, PlayStation paid the way to do that, but I mean, it sucks for PlayStation right now because unless they just have a true exclusive, there's nothing for them. There's no that exclusivity, perk is gone. PlayStation no longer is giving you, 6 free games a month, which they should have never stopped doing.
No.
I couldn't imagine that costed them that much money to do. And it sucks because now PlayStation has no bragging rights, and it's really becoming obvious now.
Mm-hmm.
Like
minor things to touch on. Like I'm gonna give you a mini rapid fire PlayStation news outlet just to see your reaction. They're cutting back on VR development. I don't know if you saw that.
Didn't care, but I know.
PlayStation Portal and PlayStation VR 2 are getting super heavy clearance cuts at Walmart. Like they're not moving. Like you could get the PlayStation Portal thing for like $100, and the VR 2 is like almost $200-$300. Nobody's buying it still.
Yep.
They're fucking. What was the other one? What was the other thing I saw that was like really like not helping them lately? Apparently they're moving to cut back. This is just recently too. They're cutting back on physical things altogether, like Blu-rays in general. Like they're cutting 250 jobs in their physical media department. And I was like,
oh yeah,
like it's just been not good news.
We talk about Microsoft doing all the layoffs and stuff, but I'm sure some of these have had their fair share of
just been more quiet about it.
Yeah, they just haven't said anything because they know any news they put out is going to hurt them, and it sucks. But I mean that's being a PlayStation fan right now.
And I don't know how you feel about this. Oh, the other one I remembered. Apparently, people are. I don't know how you feel about this, but I guess Stellar Blade has only moved about 1 million units so far, like actually sold, not shipped, and people are calling that a flop. I'm like,
no, that's about what the game was gonna get. Don't get me wrong, Stellar Blade looks great and it looks fantastic to play. I played the demo. I had fun with it. I'm gonna play it when I have more time. But
that's where I'm at too. I don't think it was meant to be like the big AAA thing.
Yeah, and the game. It generated a lot of buzz purely because of the art direction. That's all. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit the game or anything, but I mean, it was never going to be like
it was never going to
surpass her.
No, it's not going to outsell God of War. It's not going to outsell Final Fantasy. No. It's its own thing.
It's a nice title to have on this bare bones catalog we got right now.
Exactly. Like take what you can get, guys, because right now, like.
Mm-hmm. Great game though. I can say that much. Great game. 1 million is not too bad. That's around what Tales and Persona do on per mothership title. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if if they hit 2 million sales to do a sequel.
Yeah,
I could see that in the next 2 years. I feel like a lot of the controversy around Stellar Blade has calmed down. So that's probably we'll see. Hopefully they put out some cool DLC or something to really
entice people.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more costumes if they do that.
Yep.
That's pretty much the appeal of the game, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But I mean, as far as Nintendo and everyone goes, it's getting tough. The competition's getting fierce, and I'm TGS. If we don't see anything by TGS, if Sony isn't really taking a break for the entirety of this year, then we're done. We're cooked. We're through. We won't see anything great until 2025, maybe summer.
Whatever their next real showcase or whatever their thing was called.
Yeah. If they're taking a break for the rest of this year, I doubt they're saying anything else this year.
Yep. They're just
TGS is going to be quiet.
Oh yeah,
man. That'd be it'd be crazy too if like Xbox was just like TGS. All right, all Japanese games right here.
Yep.
On Game Pass.
Right? They just come in and say, hey, we're gonna be like funding a bunch of these Japanese things here real quick.
Definitely.
I think that's it.
I pretty much got everything I wanted to say. Let us know your thoughts down below. Feel free to comment if we're wrong about anything. We're always appreciative to know. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and look forward to the next video.